Larry, Fort Worth Memories Museum and Groups. Well, I thought I had to. Let me see if I can find it. Not yet. Just now, there I am. I'm going to style the video. I'm doing it from my iPad. So today is Wednesday, 28th day of May. So I hope everybody out there, it's raining here. I guess it worked. Hello? I guess it worked. Yeah, it did work. Okay. It's still morning, so it'd be better if I could get it to good morning. Are y'all there? Anybody there? It says 2 people are there. Well, I don't want that. What is that? Jesus Christ. How do I get rid of that thing? I'm trying to get rid of whatever the hell this thing is. I don't know how in the hell that's happened. Let me get it from the iPhone. I don't ever do it from the okay. Could you give us a little history on the white elephant saloon and what part of Hell's Half Acre? Well, David, I can tell you some of it. It originally was on Main Street, downtown, where Hell's Half Acre was. It was open. In fact, I've got a picture of it on the wall, an advertisement from the 1880s. A guy named Ward, W-A-R-D, was the owner. It moved after 1900 to where it is now. The shootout was not in the stockyards. It was it was on Main Street where the convention center is now. What else did you want to know about it? It's been around since the 1870s, I believe, was when it was. M.L. Ward was the guy that opened it. It was a restaurant and a bar, and it actually took up two different buildings that they had a common way between them. I'll do a story on them here in a day or two. Hey, Brittany. On the other feed am I any closer to finding the Santa Ana wash basin bowl? Yes, I am. I think now that it's in possession of, well, I'm not going to say who I think it's in possession of, but it's still around, I believe. That wash basin bowl, you want to know why it's so important to me? It was what Santa Anna used when he was in battle to take a spit bath with. It's made out of 1,000 Mexican silver dollars. I post pictures of it often from 1936. Josephine Ryan and Amon Carter are standing side by side with holding it, and they're in the log cabin that Cynthia Ann Parker was kidnapped in. But back to your question, Santa Anna was the 8th president of Mexico, and he fancied himself as besides a politician, is a wartime expert, so to speak. But the reason it's important to me is in two battles, in the Second Battle of Goliad and the Alamo, Santa Anna had the Texans, the Revolutionary Texans, slaughtered, massacred, and then their bodies burned. So yeah, it's important to me. Should be important to any Texan. In fact, he was a cocky SOB to me. So I'm going to play you something if I can find it. So let's back up to March 6th, 1836. It's early in the morning, probably 4 or 4:30 in the morning, and I don't know how anybody could see anything. The Texan fighters were in the Alamo, which was a shoddy, rundown deal. 2 of the walls wouldn't have repelled anybody. There was approximately 200. That number varies from 184 to 189 to 194. There was about 12 people, non-combatants, that actually walked out of the Alamo. Most notably, a guy named Joe. Slaves took their owners' names, so his name was Joe Travis. He was Colonel Travis's slave, and this guy, you can research him. He was sold, I think, 4 times, but after the Battle of the Alamo, he actually walked from Texas to Alabama. I don't know how in the heck he did that, but he chose to stay. That part of the story is true. But getting back to the morning of March the 6th, 1836, This is the 13th day of the siege, and there's a lot of accounts of Mexican soldiers that praised the combatants in the Alamo. They had repelled them for 12 straight days, and the number of 6,000 is not. I studied that battle for a couple of years. I'm saying the Mexicans had about 1,700 people, and the actual combatants for the freedom fighters is what I call them, is about 190. But they fought like 2,000. So on that morning, Santa Anna had his army raise a red flag, and that meant surrender. And of course, the famous cannon shot, that was the answer. In other words, go to hell. And then, I'm going to play this for you. And then everybody heard this. It's the Degüello. And they played it for hours. It's a trumpet. And that means slit throat, no quarter. That's what the freedom fighters heard. So, to a lot of people, that song means a lot. It does to me. So what it means in Spanish exactly is slit throat, no surrender, behead. So at the Second Battle of Goliad, the first Battle of Goliad, the Texans overwhelmed the Mexicans. There was nobody killed. They let the Mexicans leave. The Texans took the fort. The second battle, there was like 2,000 Mexicans against basically 500, 450. The Texans surrendered under a white flag. Santa Anna had them marched out of the fort and murdered, executed. All of the freedom fighters at the Alamo were stacked up like trash, and kindling wood spread out among their bodies. And about 5 o'clock that evening, they burned them all while that damn song was playing. So, if you ever hear that song, that's what it is. It's the Degüello. It's no surrender. You know, I asked John Wayne's son at the museum if I played that, and he said, oh yeah, that was an important song to my dad. So anyway, that's the reason that Wash Basin Bowl is important, I think, to Texas. It was in Fort Worth for about 52 years that I know of for sure. And I think we're close to finding it. And I don't know if the people that have it has got it for sale, but I'll move mountains to get it bought. So like I say, he Santa Anna ordered all the defenders at the Alamo. There was no quarter. And then he burned all of the bodies. He even threw in just some of the regular soldiers in his army. What a piece of work he was. But at the Second Battle of Goliad, the freedom fighters, the Texians, surrendered under a white flag. Everybody knows what that means. It means, hey, we're done. Lock us up or whatever. And they were under the assumption that they were going to walk out and get marched to a place, jail or whatever. And he had them executed. A bunch of them beheaded and burned. So for 13 days, a group of people that most of them weren't even from Texas, they gave their lives. So that's the reason that's important to me. That wash basin bowl, anyway. There's a lot of people that never even heard that song, I imagine. The police just said, be on the lookout for potential severe weather today, this afternoon, yeah. So I will share that. I mean, this detail business is non-existent. It's unbelievable. I get pretty emotional about that Alamo. So we've got Anzeta lined up for Friday morning at 9. Manny Ramirez Monday afternoon about 2. And I invited Bud Kennedy, and he's just waiting on me to tell him when, what day. We're going to get all, see if we can get this thing explained to us. What am I doing? I'm just sitting down here posting stuff. I've got a historical meeting today, but I'm going to have to do it Zoom. I better go ahead and message them because Texas Magazine proof. What is this? I don't know what that is. It's something to do with Larry's kids. Reminder to the historical committee chairs. The agenda for our meeting. Well, I'm going to have to do Zoom because I've got to be out in the country. I got to leave here about 12:30. What's tomorrow? Thursday? wait to send him that. Let me tell this lady. Oh, if I can find her. I get too many messages. Hold on. Okay. How many what? Well, all of the combatants at the Alamo, which there's no way of really knowing, 189, the actual number massacred, executed at the Second Battle of Goliad. The First Battle of Goliad, we overran the fort, let them all go, said, get out of here, we're taking it over. Wounded a few Texans got wounded. So when he came back in force. And they didn't play the Deguello then. The Texans surrendered under a white flag. That means something. And so the garrisons marched them out. They got them all together and acted like, we're going to march y'all somewhere where you're going to be imprisoned. And then they got about 500 feet from the fort and executed them. Shot them, stabbed them, bayoneted them, cut their heads off. And then they burned them. So yeah, that means something to me. She says I can do that meeting by Zoom. Will you send me the link? I'm getting into this historical stuff. Anyway, alright, so let me get back to y'all and get what y'all are talking about. We're going to eat at, where are we going to eat? El Phoenix. Good Mexican food. They treat us real well. They really do. Probably as good as any place that we eat. I think you can ask any of our regulars. It's on the top of the agenda. If you can find that in your email, okay, I'll look. I've just got too much stuff going today. Wednesday, May 28th. Okay, 5 comments. So, David, I'll do we can do a story on the White Elephant Saloon. But yeah, in the 1898 Fort Worth University yearbook, I've got the advertisement. I'll post it. I've got the yearbook. There's only 9 known diplomas from that Fort Worth University. It was here from the 1880s to 1911. They packed up and moved and went to Oklahoma City, which they're still there, but it's not called Fort Worth University. And TCU came here. And those 9 known diplomas, I own them all. 6 of them they had a medical degree and they had a law degree. Mario's in. Mario, why don't you come eat lunch with us Saturday at 1? We're going to be at El Phoenix on Camp Bowie. How do you what? Oh, Dequuello. Dequuello. There's several different versions of it, but it's a trumpet. At the Alamo, it was drums and a trumpet. Degüello. I'm going to see how far that goes back. Meaning, El Degüello translates to the throat slashing or beheading in Spanish. It's a Spanish term that historically became associated with a bugle call played by the Mexican army during the Battle of the Alamo, signaling that no quarter will be given. No mercy, fight to the death. Well, that's what we did, is we fought to the death. And guess what? We ended up with the state. And there's different, there's nobody that really knows. The only people that tell the version of the Alamo are the Mexicans. Because there's no more, well, Dickinson's wife survived. And I think she said that it played for hours. If you listen, the John Wayne movie of the Alamo, it played for hours. And there's a couple of things that I can't understand. Why would Santa Anna raise a flag at 4:30 in the morning? I mean, they didn't have spotlights. He raised a red flag, which meant you need to surrender. Come out with your hands up or whatever. And, of course, then we answered that with a cannonball shot. So, pretty close from all of the studying I've ever done. Within about 10 or 15 minutes, Santa Anna ordered the bugler and the trumpeter and the drummer to start the Degüello. So, and they used it a lot more places than just the Alamo. In other words, that's better get ready, because here we come and you ain't going to make it out. And it pretty much happened that way. But Santa Anna ended up, the Battle of San Jacinto, he got his butt kicked. There was a lot of skirmishes. And the freedom fighters, the Texans, they were under extreme pressure. No money, no funds, no nothing. Money was coming in from other parts of the country, and fighters. Who was it? It was Davy Crockett. He did not get reelected to Congress. He said, "To hell with y'all, I'm going to Texas." And supposedly Crockett is the last one to die, according to the accounts from the Mexicans. And the stories of him begging for his life, I don't think that, if you research Davy Crockett or Jim Bowie or any of them, Travis, there wouldn't have been none of that. I mean, almost to the man. When they, there were some of them that had their wives with them and families, and when Santa Anna allowed them to leave, those women didn't want to leave. They said, "Hell, I'm staying with you. If you die, I die, whatever." So, trying to see what else it says. Fight to the death. If the meaning wasn't so terrible, the playing of it is pretty soothing to your ear. But when you know, it was as much a warning to the Mexican soldiers, that meant give them no quarter. He didn't care what it, if they're surrendering, laying down, begging, kill them. So it was, that's another thing that, we don't teach history anymore, so let's do the sponsors while we have got a minute here. I can find them. Winstead Paint and Body, White Settlement Road, a block west of Roberts Cutoff. There's our Stripling's Honor Roll plaque. There was 88 employees of Stripling's that went to World War II, and all of them but one came home. 1 out of 88 lost his life. That's got to be some of the best odds that there was on a group of people going to World War II. Scott is our IT guru. He can build you a website or technical advice, whatever you need there, he can do. Okay. Alpha Design and Build is Lance Sanders. He's a remodeler, commercial or residential. All the Blue Mountain Cafes. In fact, I'm going to stop there today because I won't have time to fix anything. Stingers is a sports bar. It's in the old Mark Dean barbecue store right off of 199 on the feeder road into Azle. Fort Worth Florist, they have sent a lot of flowers for our members. Dickie Carr is Richard Carr's nephew. He owns Grateful for your trees. They do anything to do with trees. They can fix it. Cut them down, trim them, grind the stumps down. They build retaining walls, demolition, haul-offs, privacy fences, all of that. Call them. G2 Garage, White Settlement area. Chris and his team over there. All you got to do is run your car over there and they'll get right on it. Phelps Family Auto Care, thank you. Check with your manager out there. Phelps Family Auto Care, Burleson area. Mike Phelps and his wife came by when we signed them up. Great folks. They've got a great reputation in Burleson and in Fort Worth. Stroud Auto Supply. Danny Stroud and his wife, that's the second generation, because when I was 16 I bought parts there in Haltom City and Riverside area. Schwartz and Hanson Architects, very active in our bicycle giveaway. Rex Benson, Rex's Bar and Grill. I've actually been with the Bensons for 40 years. It's in the old Macaroni Grill, 1500 block of South University. That thing is the Taj Mahal of sports bars. I mean, Rex, he didn't save on any money. I mean, he spent it all fixing that place up. Tri-State Dent, Jason and his crew over there. Hail damage, door dings, minor dents. They come to you. They'll work with you on your deductible. There's no reason not to call them. Rains Plumbing, family-owned business, pride themselves in customer satisfaction. They do a great job. We've had a lot of y'all have used them. Charlie Guerin's Railhead Barbecue. Charlie is on the board of directors at Larry's Kids. He's the state rep, and he's got a great barbecue joint there. Optimus Club of Fort Worth, they do lots of good stuff, and it's all for youth. So they provide the museum here a Christmas tree every year. That's about a $150 deal. Okay, so Old South Pancake House, 2 locations. Fort Worth on South University Drive is 24/7. The one in Burleson closes at 9 or 10 at night. Jenny Stewart, State Farm Insurance. In my opinion, State Farm, Farmers, Allstate, they're all about the same. It's who's going to give you the same coverage for less money. So it costs you absolutely nothing to call State Farm. Brandon Cross Electric. We just detailed one of Brandon's company trucks. I think it's the one he drives, a big dually. Anything electrical. Don't mess with that electricity. It can kill you and you won't even know it. K-Ranch Roofing. Jorge Hernandez is the owner. If you think you might have roof damage from all these storms, for 2 or 3 months we've had high winds, hail, all this other stuff. They'll come out and check your roof out and they don't charge you anything for it. Fort Worth Lumber, I-35 South. I was just down there about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Huge complex. Everybody down there is very knowledgeable about their products. So if you need materials, building plans, you just want to ask them questions, they can do all of that. Coburn's Catering, started in 1946. Otha and his brother. I actually ate lunch there probably 3 or 4 days a week during the 60s. They had, besides catering, they were in the cafeteria business. Same location right there on North Main. There might not be another place in business on North Main that's been in business as long as Coburn's in the same spot. Pat and Richard Carr, Dickie Carr Sand and Gravel. When I made the bike giveaway, a non-profit 501c last year, Pat and Richard wrote a check for $5,000 for Larry's kids. Great people. Dana Lang, realtor. One of her businesses is Dana Sells Cowtown. Very knowledgeable about Fort Worth history. Knows lots of people. A Bird AC and Heating Inc. Dub Peacock. Yep, he's one of the Polly Peacock boys. If you think that your unit is not putting out, or if it's making a strange noise or whatever, get somebody out there and get them to diagnose it or look at it before it goes completely out. Those things are expensive. Eric Walsh, realtor. Board of directors, Larry's kids. Good guy. He's a great guy. He hustled a lot of money for bikes last year. This year's giveaway is December 13th, Farrington Field. Gates will open as close to 6:30 in the morning as we can. Yellow Snake Horses, Brazos River Ranch. Say that 3 times backwards. You go down Interstate 20 to Millsap, and you exit about an hour's drive from here. You get out of the city, get out into country living, and you'll regret coming back to the city. You can ride horses for about 2 hours for $75. You do not have to be experienced horseback rider. Rhonda and her team down there, they do it all. They teach you everything. What else are we going to talk about? What else, y'all? Have we heard anything new about the lady and the guy, the 2 people that ran over and killed the 18-year-old out at Grapevine Lake? What a senseless deal. And I think I was told that they were illegal immigrants. Oh, the Texas Monthly came out with their best barbecue, and that Goldie's, I got to get over there and check it. Goldie's made it, and Kraft, not Heinz, but I think it's Kraft Barbecue, or it's not Kraft, what's the name of it? Well, naturally it won't tell me. Anyway, 2 of them made it in Fort Worth. Danes, is it Danes? They used to be right over here off of, across the street from my detail shop and museum on West 5th. Anyway, Goldie's shows it. I've heard a ton of people talk about that, but I've never. Danes is it, isn't it? Anyway, I'm tired of looking. I'm not a patient person. Leaders dispute Tarrant County redistricting efforts. I mean, I really don't understand it, but we're going to learn about it. Biden's battered, more criminal probes after cocaine found in White House. I wish they'd leave him alone. I mean, and early voting is on for this last runoff election. Netanyahu says Israel killed. Who did Israel kill? Oh, I can't find it on the news. Oh, Hamas terrorist leader Mohammed Sinwar was taken out. He must have been a big shot or something. I see Obama's Secret Service team got into a fisticuffs. This Diddy, he ordered people killed. I mean, all kinds of stuff. They need to leave that guy locked up. Okay. We need to bring back Slam Bang Theater. There's nothing that's good on the news anymore. Joseph. We're sure getting a lot of people joining the group, 30 or 40, 50 every day. Wonder why all of the both of them are illegal aliens. Yeah, well, what's new? It's not how many illegal, is how many legal citizens are there in the country. Okay, I'm fixing to go check on the other side, make sure everything's off over there, because I've got to be on that Zoom in about an hour and a half, and it's going to take me 30 or 40 minutes to get home. So I'll talk to y'all again when I get home before I do the Zoom history. Love all of you. Treat